There is a not-so-secret society of people, all across the UK, who in their spare time reveal themselves as superheroes.
You just want to be as character accurate as possible.
People ask me, how long does it take you to make the costume? It's all this extra stuff. That took 12 years.
It's a hobby known as cosplay.
Hey guys, just your friendly neighborhood Spiderman.
But don't think of this as just some childish game.
It's actually about 4 to 5 kilos, and it's like solid metal.
To these enthusiasts,
Whoa!
it's a way of life.
I don't think I could have ever stopped because of the feelings it does give me.
Words like nerd or geek, once considered insults, are now worn like badges of honour. And there's a growing scene of people here in Northern Ireland who don't just enjoy the characters in these books, they spend hours, weeks, months even, on becoming them. I grew up on a steady diet of video games and science fiction. And when I was asked to do Celebrity Mastermind, my chosen specialized subject was the Star Trek movies. I remember when I was about 6 years old, my dad had been working away and he came home with 3 comic books. He gave my brother The Incredible Hulk, he gave my sister a copy of Thor, and I got introduced to a bloke called Iron Man. I think I've had a sentimental attachment to the character ever since.
My sentimental attachment never developed into anything more than just reading the comics and watching the films. But one man who turned his childhood hero into his own reality is 50-year-old John Donaldson.
He's probably the first superhero that I really noticed as a kid. You know, over the years, there's been different Spider-Man cartoons, and you pick up the old Spider-Man comic, and it's a well-liked character. Everybody likes Spider-Man.
And there doesn't need to be a crisis for John to make an appearance. This guy has spandex and will travel.
Let's do this, Spidey.
And he's not usually on his own. These days, where you find one superhero, you're always sure to find a few more hanging about.
There's a superhero missing here, guys. Where's Spidey? Is he safe at home? Yeah. Hey, buddy, get you back to work.
He's like the 50-year-old, 18-year-old in a way, just the way he bounces about, and he's just one of a kind, like I say, you know. There's no one else like John Donaldson in the cosplay world, put it like that.
John is continuously perfecting his character, whether it be changing costumes or practicing new moves.
Most cosplayers, they don't think, oh, look at me, I've got this perfect, you know, it's this quest to keep getting better. Spider-Man cosplay is probably quite extreme because spandex hides nothing. You have to have a certain bit of confidence to, you know, stand in front of people almost naked.
John is not alone in his exhibitionism. Massive Comic Cons attract thousands of cosplayers, and the biggest in Ireland takes place every year in Dublin.
Conventions are major events in any cosplayer's calendar, because here they can show off their new creations, they can hang out with fellow travellers, and even compete for prizes.
Come on then. Where is he? I can hear him. Woo! Oh, no. Oh, I got sniped.
In Lisburn, competitive cosplayer Carmen is looking forward to the Dublin event. She gets her costume ideas from her love of computer games.
If you want to cosplay as your character from your favorite game, it's completely up to that individual.
Over the years, Carmen has transformed herself into many different characters from the world of virtual gaming.
When you're deciding who to cosplay as and who to design a costume around, Is it based on the costume itself or on what the character is like?
I'm not very into the girly characters. They have to be cool, like superheroes, for example. So I'll have like Chun-Li from Street Fighter, which is a classic.
Yeah, I know Chun-Li. I'm very familiar with.
So you can tell
Very acrobatic style of fighting she does.
This is very special to me because it's where I started off.
Okay.
So I don't.
It's well worn, certainly.
Yeah, it's been worn so many times. It's been requested at some gaming conventions where I've guested at. So they'll invite me over, and sometimes they'll pay for my flights and even traveling fees.
Carmen crafts all her own costumes, competing for prizes at Comic Con events across the UK and Ireland. With Dublin Comic Con on the horizon, she's creating a new costume.
This is Kaiser from League of Legends.
League of Legends is another game.
Yes, it's a PC game. It's a very, very big game.
Competitive cosplayers like Carmen can spend months recreating every last detail of a costume they've seen in a film or a game.
Dublin Comic Con is looming. Are we on schedule?
I think it's 2 weeks away now, so that's technically con crunch period. So
Con crunch.
It's not just the term con crunch means you're just gonna panic like crazy for the next 2 weeks.
Is there anything I can do to help through this difficult con crunch time?
You can help me do what I hate doing the most, which is sanding. So yeah, sand it diagonally.
How deep do I want to go? You think I'm ruining it, don't you? You're looking at me going, he's ruining it.
You're doing pretty well.
Well, that's 11 from Stranger Things and Aquaman, Ant-Man, Batman, Black Bolt, Black Suit Spider-Man, BB-8.
Personal trainer Ben Mudge from Newton Abbey is a self-confessed geek, and he's proud of it.
Superman, Sherlock, Toothless, Thor, Rocket.
Ben has always been a comic book fan, but he's relatively new to the cosplaying scene.
The first Comic-Con I went to, I just had normal clothes on and I had the foam hammer that I have. And just walking around, people looked at me and were like, oh, he's got long hair. Long blonde hair and a beard. He looks like Thor. Yeah, so we got this guy from Etsy. I think he's from China who made this. The cloak's a bit wrinkled, so we're gonna have to iron it. I say aye. I'll get my wife to iron it.
Despite having to do her husband's dirty work, wife Janice is a big fan.
I think it was 2011 we went to go see the first Thor film. It was the shirtless scene, and Janice was like, oh, he's nice.
Yeah, I do love Chris Hemsworth. More Thor than Chris Hemsworth, though.
People say I look like him, so that's fine with me, yeah.
Up until now, Janice has just been an interested spectator, but that could change.
I think Ben would like me to do it, maybe, but I don't know what I would do. Maybe Supergirl or something. I might go to the next Comic Con. Maybe, yeah. I haven't been to one before, so maybe do that, see how it goes.
I reckon I could convince her. She's kind of got a lot of female superheroes have that long blonde hair, pretty, she's got the right shape for it, so it wouldn't be hard for her to do many of the characters.
Unlike Janice, Ben's been getting into character from a very young age.
I was obsessed with superheroes, and I still am. So I think I related to like Spider-Man especially. You know, he was this normal kid from the outside, but then he had something different about him that, you know, you wouldn't necessarily see just looking at him.
Ben was born with cystic fibrosis, a genetic disorder that affects the lungs and for which there is no cure.
So I think the fact that I had CF, I always felt slightly different. But then once people learn about me, they also then learn about the cystic fibrosis. So it's kind of a double-edged sword where, you know, I'm getting the attention just for looking a bit like Thor, and then I'm also bringing awareness to cystic fibrosis. So the more people that hear about cystic fibrosis, the better.
Today's appearance is at a children's party with a host of other stars from comics and movies. But unlike Spider-Man and Elsa, it isn't just the kids who are excited to see Thor.
Whenever you go to these events, the mums are pretty thirsty. So I got asked, do you do adult parties as well? I was like, I can barely move in this thing. So she's like, so is that a yes then?
But as with most of his appearances, Ben's illness soon becomes the topic of conversation.
This lady approached me and said, are you doing this all for cystic fibrosis? And then she said, oh, my niece is in hospital at the moment, she's got CF. Could we take a selfie together and send it to her?
She's in hospital maybe 2-3 times a year.
Yeah.
She's struggling at the minute now, that's why she's back in again. Yeah.
The entire event has the fun and whimsical side of it, and then you get like people like that and you're like, oh wow, so if it gives it that extra level for me, where I'm not just dressed up as Thor, I'm becoming something slightly bigger than just a guy dressed up as Thor. It's cool.
Across town, in a workshop, I'm getting a sense of just how dedicated a cosplayer John Donaldson is.
These masks are incredibly detailed. How much time goes into each one of these?
A lot of time. Yeah, you know, maybe spent several weeks sculpting these eyes.
He's a man of many faces.
You have 4 different incarnations of Spider-Man here.
There's 4, there's so many of them, but that's 4 of the ones that I do make.
How do you attach them to the suit then?
Put this on first, you know, like this. Then you put the suit over, and then you stick that on over the top of the suit.
Over the years, John has cosplayed a host of different characters, including the Joker, C-3PO, and Iron Man.
So what do you get out of it, John?
The Spider-Man keeps me kind of fit. You know, you're moving, you're doing a lot of stretching, you're keeping your body sort of soft. The fabricating of stuff, you know, people say, where did you buy that? And you go, I actually make that, you know, I actually made that myself, you know, so.
So Dublin Comic Con is coming up. So what is your plan then?
Plan is to bring my movie-style Deadpool and my comic-style Deadpool. Spider-Man's always with me anyway, I always have a wee bag. He doesn't take up much space, so I'll bring him just, you know, anyway. And possibly Jack Sparrow. He hasn't been out for a long time, so gives me an excuse to shave the beard off.
So which one of these are we going to road test right now?
Right now, I'm going to try and get into this Deadpool.
Right, you get it on. I'll time you. These people aren't weird. They're not. You don't talk to these people and think that they have a crazy obsession. Everybody has their thing that they like to do. And these people like to make and wear costumes.
This is the bad boy of the Marvel universe. He's not quite Marvel, but he's, you know, he's still Marvel.
No, he's not your clean-cut hero. I really like it. I'm not going to start doing it. I cannot, I have no more time to spend on another hobby.
So we heard a little rumor that you like Iron Man.
I remember having an Iron Man comic as a small boy.
Well, I have an Iron Man costume here if you want to have a wee look at it.
I'm tempted.
Great.
And with that, my vow of never cosplaying lasted a mere 15 seconds. I guess I'm easily led.
I imagine this is what knights of old felt like when they had their squire putting their armour on for them.
This is the final piece. How's that?
I feel indestructible. When you put the mask down and look at yourself in the mirror and don't see your own face, you think in your own head, you know what, I actually am Iron Man. I know I'm not.
One person who doesn't need an armoured suit is Ben Mudge. He's building his own.
When someone who's doing a cosplay looks like the character in their physique, it just takes it to a whole nother level, like especially coming from my background where I know how hard it is to get in shape.
But with his illness, it has been tough to get to this level.
Growing up, I was always so small because with cystic fibrosis, putting on body fat is very difficult. Putting on any weight at all is difficult. I started seeing big changes in my physique and the confidence that gave me, which I was completely lacking in because of my shape. I wouldn't know what to do without it.
I like these pop vinyls, yeah. That's Aquaman.
Aquaman, yeah, that's the other. And then
Ant-Man, giant Ant-Man.
Yep.
Batman.
Falcon.
I was gonna get there. I was gonna say
I could hear
Iron Man's mate.
For Ben, these superheroes have taken on an added significance in his life.
I felt different in myself having cystic fibrosis. You know, all my friends were normal, and obviously superheroes, you know, Spiderman, Batman, they all look on the outside normal.
And I suppose a lot of the superheroes, the really superheroes, have a weakness, as it were, have a
kryptonite,
a flaw, or kryptonite. Or...
That's kind of the cystic fibrosis is to me, and I think that's why I related to them so well.
Ben has taken this weakness and turned it into a force for good. He's now a caped crusader for cystic fibrosis awareness and has gained a massive following online.
So Ben, explain to me, what is Thor's Day all about?
It actually comes from me looking up the etymology of the words of the week. Thursday is actually just Thor's Day.
When you posted that, did you think, oh, I could be onto something here?
Yeah, I mean, the response I got from that was incredible. I got a lot of direct messages from parents saying that, oh, you know, it's cool that you're doing this. My kid is a big superhero fan.
Right.
He now wants a Thor's hammer.
That's great to have that kind of feedback, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this kid, 3 years old, he's got his little Thor's hammer there, taking his nebulizers, and obviously his mum sent me a message. We were having a bit of trouble with him taking or wanting to do his nebulizers until I showed him that Thor does them too.
It's only a few days until the biggest event in the Irish cosplay calendar, Dublin Comic Con.
Con's just around the corner. Truth is, I am nowhere near done.
Comic Con's probably too close right now.
In preparation, John and Carmen are busy sticking, drilling, stitching and gluing their costumes together.
At every single Comic Con, you have to have a different costume. You just spend forever just getting some correct.
But you don't have to be a whiz with a drill. There are plenty of off-the-peg options for those who are just dipping their toe in the cosplay scene, like Ben's wife Janice.
Yeah, that's kind of my idea.
Yeah.
Just thought it would be cool to join in and see what it's like. It's kind of like Halloween, only on a bigger scale.
Yeah, it's like Halloween, but people put way more effort into it.
Yeah.
Carmen is hoping her efforts are rewarded when she enters the cosplay competition.
You know, you go on stage, you show off your stuff, and that's where people start to respect you in terms of an artist. Oh yeah, it's gonna look awesome.
The day marked in every Irish geek's calendar has arrived.
Chewie, my old Wookiee pal.
Dublin Comic Con is well underway.
My money's on the dude with the beard.
And thousands of people dressed as their favourite characters from comics, movies and games are streaming through the doors. I recognise most of them.
You're moving a little slowly today.
But I'm not Flash.
You're not the Flash?
No, Shazam.
Oh my God, you're Shazam. As I say there, I've lost several nerd points today.
In a hotel room not far away, Ben and Janice are transforming themselves into character.
This version of Thor, his hair is quite prominent. It's quite a big thing, and I suck at doing hair. Janice, how you getting on?
Yep, good. Nearly ready.
This will be Janice's first time ever cosplaying, and having all eyes on her is not something she's entirely keen on.
I hate attention. Just any birthday when I was younger, I used to just like cry when everyone was there. I just hated it.
But if you're dressing as a superhero, you have to fully inhabit the role.
Just practice the pose then I taught you, so hands in the, make sure your cloak's over your shoulders.
I have to make sure my cape's backwards like this. Get the fists and...
Yeah, look, yeah.
See any pictures, this is my pose.
If you're confident in your costume, you feel a lot better. So I think those will kind of settle the nerves, like the fact that it looks that good.
Ben is fully confident in his costume, but being the Norse god of thunder requires everything to look perfect. Including the guns.
You have to look pumped to be Thor. Chris Hemsworth does these before he gets on any shot. You have to complete the look.
Back at the venue, Carmen has arrived after a long night finishing her costume.
Everything works. The LEDs work and the wings haven't fallen apart yet, so far so good. So
this is the finale where things can either go really wrong or it'll be fine.
Later today, she'll compete with some of the leading cosplayers in Ireland for the title of Best Costume.
Everybody wants a title, you know, that I've won something. It's kind of like putting something down on your CV, but a cosplay CV.
But the competition is only one element of the convention.
There's an incredible number of people who are here by dressing up. They become part of the whole thing. And these are people who've paid to get in. And then when they arrive, they are essentially part of the experience for other people. It's actually quite selfless when you think about it.
And one of the most selfless cosplayers is John Donaldson.
Hey, buddy.
He's just here to entertain.
What's your favorite? Okay, come on, leg up.
He's brought 3 costume changes for the day, and his first is Deadpool, a tongue-in-cheek comic book and movie character.
I like your hat. It's really cool. Hey, Deadpool. Hey, Deadpool. How are you? I like your style.
John's fictional alter ego is proving very popular with the punters, old and young.
You have made your outfit out of balloons. What possessed you to do that?
I thought if I'm going to do Harley Quinn, do something that no one has done. And because I'm a balloon artist, I figured I would make the outfit out of balloons.
Are you limited in who you can cosplay as?
Yes, I typically wear masks, and I'm always the big bad guy.
Yeah.
And just when you thought you'd seen every conceivable costume there is, there's always another creation.
I think this might be my favourite costume of the weekend.
Thank you so much.
We have TIE fighters here, we have an X-Wing there, we have the Millennium Falcon there, and here we have a baby bump dressed as the Death Star.
Yes, exactly.
That's beautiful.
Exhibition space. The final frontier. The deck of the Starship Enterprise. This is the voyage of one middle-aged nerd living out his fantasy.
Second star to the right, straight on till morning. I love the fact that I'm sitting in a captain's chair right now. It's great. I just hope there isn't a red alert. Oh my God, it's a red alert!
What are your orders, Captain?
Evasive maneuvers, obviously. Shields up! Shields up! Why do I still have to say shields up? Surely that was obvious.
Perhaps I made a mistake not coming in character. But that can't be said of Ben or Janice. The caped couple have arrived, and Ben is already being mobbed.
Let's go, thank you.
I'm not going to get to speak to Ben now for the rest of the day. Come on, photo with me.
But despite her fears, Supergirl is off to a flying start.
Straight into the superhero pose.
The phrase duck to water comes to mind.
Just do me a favour and just turn around a wee bit more to the right.
And it's hardly surprising, because she's learned from the best. Husband, Thor. But for one cosplayer in particular, Ben is something of a real-life hero.
Obviously, you know who Thor is, but the fact that you know who Ben Mudge is,
yeah,
and that you'd look to him as much as a celebrity as Thor.
It was a couple of weeks after following Ben, and kind of just looking at his story, and just like a switch clicked in my head that was like, well, if he can do that, put my mind to it, what can I do?
It was seeing Ben at last year's Comic Con that inspired Luke Stobie to completely transform himself.
I was a hefty bloke at the time. I was 21 stone at the time.
You were 21 stone
at the time.
When was this?
This was August.
This is August less than a year ago then. Back when you were a big guy, would you have dressed up as Shazam or Spiderman?
Not in as tight as spandex.
No, because I always think the spandex does not look good if you're carrying too many pounds.
It doesn't hug you right. No, it doesn't.
Going through his own transformation is John.
A costume always looks simple until you start building it.
He's busy becoming his second character of the day, Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Hat on, so you gotta go a little bit drunk,
And playing such a well-known eccentric allows John to explore his cheekier side.
Are you a rum drinker?
I don't even know what that is.
What age are you?
7.
Oh, not until you're 9. Think of your heart's true desire.
Got it.
Okay, this will point to it.
Okay. There.
Who's that? A bin. A bin. Nice and steady. Thank you, darling.
You're very
I'll
welcome.
see you back at the ship.
You will.
Don't bring him.
No. Any contestants come this way, please?
Meanwhile, in a room not far, far away, the cosplay competition is starting.
Following up next, we have Shortcake's cosplay as Anya from the film Anastasia.
Before she takes to the stage, I'm helping Carmen make some last-minute adjustments.
I feel like I'm trying to get a signal on the TV. It's like, how does that look now? Shall I just stand here like this?
Having already scoped out her opposition, she's not exactly confident.
I don't actually have much hope of winning, unfortunately, but to be honest, I go on stage to advertise myself anyway.
Sure.
So even if I don't win, I still get something out of it.
In the competition hall, a large crowd is looking on as the cosplayers strut their stuff.
Next up, we have Vanessa Flood as the Alpha Toothless Warrior from How to Train Your Dragon. Mannequin Blue as Harley Quinn. Paul Roser as Jafar. Next up, we have Carmen Hopkins of Carmelo Cosplay, dressed as D.Va Kayla from League of Legends. Thank you very much.
As the judges decide on the winners, elsewhere, John Donaldson has jumped into his third and final costume of the day. His old favourite, Spidey. And he's not alone.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Spidey, what is this, a Spidey gathering?
And when he's not annoying the Night King,
Hey, Spiky Head. Wow, he's scary, isn't he? Whoa.
he's showing off his moves and teaching tiny Spider-Men new tricks.
Wow, look at the speed of this guy. Now he's cheating.
Oh, no.
Back in the competition hall, the winners of Best Costume are being announced.
In second place, Jafar. And in first place, we have Kieran as Mysterio.
Carmen, the competition is done.
Yep.
You didn't place, as
Nope.
they say.
I kind of expected it anyway, first of all, but I know they're actually, some of them were already champions. Yeah, they're so skilled, so I'm gonna have to start upping my game maybe next year.
1, 2, 3. Hey-ya! It's very difficult to sum up what the experience of Comic Con is like without having been here. One thing that surprises me is just how friendly everybody is. I would absolutely come to another Comic Con, and I might go in costume next time as well. I'm thinking of something simple like Death from the Sandman comic, because that's just like black jeans and a black singlet and the right eye makeup, and that's done.